You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
Where do I come from?
It seems like you have a little problem understanding the English language.
The only way a guy like you gets a set of nuts is by buying them at the concession stand.
I will eat his carcass in front of his little gazelle friends.
It's like a jar of mayonnaise with eyeballs and a ketchup haircut.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty!
Son of a bitch.
Wow, man, freaked out!
Get your fucking shit together, my God!
And I'm living now, yeah!
I want to know what's going on, and I want to know right now.
It's like the most important man in the world standing here, and you got a conversation going with you, Jane.
I would like to just get to know you.
The great one says you can kiss his ass.
Nice to meet you. What's going on?
I wish horrible flesh-eating disease on you and your family, but not a disease where you die. A disease where you have to walk the earth mutated as some sort of piece of...
Listen to me very carefully.
Whatever your name is, get ready for the big surprise.
Listen to me very carefully.
Maybe I am insane. Maybe I am insane. And maybe it's time for you to find out how insane I am. Yeah.
We're not here just to take part. We're here to take
over. Welcome. Holy shit, I'm back. Are you guys ready? I don't think y'all are ready. Are you ready? I know we're on a crazy day and a crazy time and it's been all nutty, but we're going to have some fun anyway. Let's get into it, guys. Plenty of stuff in the hobby and finally a conclusion to our debauchery with Champions belts. Plus, we got some others. Did we scam a scammer? Plenty to get into here on this edition. Belt collectors, unite! Alrighty then. How is everybody doing? I don't know why I did that. That's like a Jim Carrey throwback thing. That's like a 90s reference. Welcome everybody. How are you all doing on this crazy Monday? I apologize. I have not been here for weeks. It's been super crazy, but we're going to get into it today. We're going to have some fun. We've got a full-on belt review we're going to do, and we're going to kind of conclude our whole saga, the drama that has been our interaction with Champions belts. Plus, did we scam Did we scam a scammer? I mean, kind of, sort of, but not really. But we'll get into that and how that pertains to next week. So it should be fun today. So feel free to get in on the social media. We're on Studio 57 Radio across all the platforms. We're also on the J-Dub Belts Facebook page. You can check us out on Spreaker, Stitcher, TuneIn, and, of course, Studio57Radio.com. Now, all the social media side, YouTube, everywhere, that you can get in on all that. I'll try to keep everything in front of me, and I'll try to get you guys all in on the conversation, of course. But if you want to be sure, the text line is available to you, 313-307-5340, 313-307-5340. Throw your handle, your name on there, and I'll give you a shout-out. Make sure that, I give credit where credit is due, so to speak. If not, we'll just do how we do when we do what we do. Yo, Juan, what's happening? Donna, nice to see you in there with us. Let's get some people rolling here. Let's get into what is another crazy month, really, for me here. So I usually start the show off when we do the podcast, kind of going over J-Dub's business and kind of getting a few things out there. So I'm going to do that, but it's going to be kind of a different feel here. A lot's been going on, and as you know, in my personal life. So it's really affected things that are happening on a business aspect. But for those of you that watch the show, listen to the show, follow the pages, whatever the case may be, that supported, that knew what was going on, supported, shared. I appreciate every one of you guys more than you guys will ever know, man. I mean, in a time of need like we really had, you guys really showed me something, without a doubt. So I want to thank all you guys and everybody that's been patient with me too. That helps a lot too. Even if you couldn't share or help with, the others thing, which I'll put a statement out about more formal on the J-Dubs page and the Studio 57 radio page this Saturday, once things start to we start getting some closure here and I can make some promises that I can actually keep because it's been a while. Yeah, everybody that helped out, man, thanks a lot. I really appreciate you guys. And like I said, this Saturday I'll put a statement out on that, and we'll get up on all that. But all systems are a go. Hopefully this weekend, like I said, I'll get that statement out for you, and we'll go back to it. But all that stuff aside, that's why I haven't been here. That's why we haven't been doing this podcast, because I just too much stuff that's kind of dictated. So you guys that know already, thank you. For everybody else that hasn't seen, doesn't know didn't know what we've been through the last few weeks, and the people that do know, I'll give you all the detail. We'll get everything wrapped up like a pretty bow in a statement that I'll put out via social media this weekend, okay? But I don't want to drag the show down. We want to have some fun here. We want to clown around. I want to get everybody in on it. What up, fam? Ronnie in the house. God, man, how have you been? How have you been, my friend? Get in on the social media, guys. Juan, I know you want to get in on some more belt action, and we'll get you rolling. But like I said, I'm going to make a statement this weekend, so we'll and that'll kind of get everything going. I have some holiday plans for everybody for an upcoming holiday, and then for the holiday season. So I want to be able to make some really cool announcements. So it's going to have to wait till this weekend for me to do that, and that's the skinny on that. All right, now quick recap. Back to the show here, Belt Collectors Unite. If you're new to the show, you don't know what's going on. This is a show for you guys. So if there's no more fuckery out there that I've missed while I've been gone and going crazy, you need to get at me. Text line's available. Also, the Studio 57 Radio at Gmail snail mail. You can send me. I mean, that's the new snail mail right now, right? You can send me an email. If you got new stuff, we'll add to the scammers list. There's a group in Facebook, the Belt Collectors Unite. You can get in on there. The scammer list is branching off. It's funny watching the scammers put out scammer lists, but we'll talk about that on another show. So if you guys got info on that, I'm taking it. Make sure you send it our way. We'll get that thing rolling some more. So on the scammer tip, that's what we do here. We try to root out scammers. We talk about the hobby, all the different things going on in the belt collecting hobby and belts coming out. We talk about wrestling, and we have some fun with that stuff too. I hope you guys enjoyed the pay-per-view, the Clash of Champions. I know you guys are going to skirt off to Raw probably at the end of the show here, but hey, Ronnie, my brother, hit me up anytime. I've got the same phone number from wherever, and you can hit me up on social anytime, man. Whatever you got going down, I'll support when we can get back to doing things. And then, I got some stuff rolling here behind the scenes, too. So I appreciate you for chiming in, hanging out with us. And don't be afraid to come on back here. We're normally on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern time. If you guys are like, what's going on here with this? That's because, like I said, life's been crazy and got me all over the place. But we, in our hunt to find, quality individuals in this hobby, quality makers and all this stuff in this hobby, this podcast and our associated group on Facebook, we go at cats. Anybody that's suspect will go and try to find out the dirt and find out for real for you. I mean, if these cats all have glowing reputations and everything's going really well, then you know who to go to. We're gonna let you, but it's the ones that we're not sure of. We're the ones that seem questionable or too good to be true, or we've heard good things and bad things and all that stuff. So, or maybe they're on a bunch of scammer lists or known to be a scammer or considered a scammer. It was like the Bingo Fashions thing. I mean, guys, the guy's not a scammer. Is he the best belt maker out there? No. I mean, I'm sure there are guys out there that are better, that have been doing it longer. But he's good at what he does. He's not, he's given us good product. He's followed through on timelines. He doesn't bullshit you. So, those are the things that we're looking for. So we were able to kind of squash that. We even did a couple transactions in hopes that there would be a mishap, and I've done a couple more on the back end on my own that have nothing to do with this, just for the heck of it, and it's all been great. So that happens. So sometimes we find out good, and then most of the time we find out not so good. So, but we want to confirm that. We want to be sure. We want to get something in here. We want to get a review. We want this to be honest and real, and this isn't from a middleman who's making money off of upcharging these belts from overseas to cats that are afraid, to deal with the makers directly because of the scam. I got news for you. A middleman, he may say he's going to give you your money back if this gets all blows up and gets scammed, but you ain't going to get your money back any more from him than you are from the belt maker himself. At least the belt maker might attempt to send you out another belt, but like the middleman thing, for me, if it makes you feel comfortable and you trust the guy, fine. But other than that, I think it's crazy talk. That's why we do this. We got to get rid of all the nonsense. You can just go to somebody that has a legitimate setup, and you can get what you want and not have to worry about it to an extent. I mean, it's not foolproof, but we're doing the thing. So if you're new and you want to know things like the basic rules and stuff like that, we'll hit me up, and we'll throw you some of the basic things to look for if you're a beginner or new or anything like that. Okay, but for the most part, you're looking for pictures that are authentic if they haven't been used by somebody else or there's somebody else's images. If it's too good to be true, it usually is. And the red flags are there. They want you to do, give money when they shouldn't. They don't have always, have some kind of secured way to transfer funds. Don't Western Union. Don't friends and family. Don't do any of that Walmart to Walmart shit or whatever the hell. No matter what kind of scammers you're kind of dealing with, those things are, well, I guess maybe Walmart to Walmart, you could probably get that back. But some things that are, if it doesn't protect you as a buyer in some way, just don't mess with it. So those are all like rules of thumb that we all know and we all roll by. So if you're new to the hobby, I'm going to give you that right off rip. But we're going to try to accumulate a list and deal with certain cats all the time. I've got a known scammer right now as my thing pops up. He's made multiple scammer lists, and he's right now trying to get me to buy belts from him. So, I had another one, and that's going to be about next week. So I know you've seen the I think it's Takir Nasser, Takir Nasser, I think is his name, is how you say it. Takir Nasser. I think I'm saying it right. And he's made multiple scam lists for not delivering product or having, subpar product and things of that nature. I thought originally that he just didn't turn things out. Like he would recall packages before they get there, and people weren't actually getting product. And he was running scam like that. But I'm not 100%. I have to go back and look into my notes and some of the things we've got in these groups and be sure. But he's definitely been around, and we dealt with him, and I'll explain more on that one next week. But I have got him in droves coming. I'm just like, come on in. Let me see what you got. Let me see how janky and shady you are, and we'll try to get cats to do it. And I'm gonna tell you, this one here that we're dealing with right now, we're wrapping up with, was not what you're looking for. It's so not what you're looking for. So Champions belts. These are all red flags, right? Champions belts. They're no longer champions belts. They are legacy belts on Facebook because their champions belts Facebook page got shut down, and it ain't coming back. So they went with legacy, and they changed their name and put up a new page. Now, if you didn't do anything janky, you would just use your name again and put the goddamn page back up, even if you had to start all over and be Champions 2 or whatever you had to do. You wouldn't do a complete overhaul change like that. Also, you are dealing with like 4 different people because it's AKA Champions belts, it's AKA legacy belts, it's AKA royal belts. All your email when you deal with the website, all your emails come from a place called Royal Belts, AKA Muhammad Hassan, who will be the guy that will try to sell you more belts once he's got your email. And then Sultan Masood, who is the guy who you see more prominently on Facebook in their Facebook group that they put together. And it's been a total, like, timelines, complete fucking bullshit. If he tells you weeks, it will be months. If he tells you months, God forbid what that's going to be. It's going to be ugly. Just to be real. Okay? It's bad. Now, I get it. Like, the Rona, life, crazy stuff happens. But, you know, I'm a singular one-man wrecking crew. I'm a one guy doing every bit of everything. These guys have multiple cats in there working, have tons of guys working. This is not... you know, it's a different operation. But I do understand how you can get backed up. I mean, I get it. Though we run 2 kind of different operations, I can see why you can get jammed up and get behind, and timelines can be fucked up. But he's gonna lie. He's gonna lie about the timelines. He's gonna lie about why the timelines are messed up. He's gonna do all that stuff. It's the same thing. So my order, and I've got you'll have to go back to a couple episodes back of the BCU, and you can see I showed you all the emails. We read through them all, and I still got some more. I guess we could go through here in a minute, but it's he's got. You know, you had the Eid holiday over there in Pakistan, and it was on the 31st of July, I believe, and that was a Friday. And so it's a one-day, 24-hour holiday, whatever. It's just one day. And on Monday, when I asked about the belt, this is after the holiday, he said, well, you know, we're not working for the Eid holiday, and, you know, I won't be back to work till it's next week. So he told me the Eid holiday was for a week, and it was on that Monday after it, you know, the Monday after the Friday. It was actually, I don't have fucking Google. Like I can't look that shit up. But so, you know, he was behind and whatever, instead of just saying, you know, I got slammed with orders. There's just no way I'm going to make this timeline now. When I took your order, I thought it wouldn't be a problem, and now I just can't do it. You know, the Pakistan area, you know, getting stuff shipped and doing that whole scenario, it's a different world there. They do it differently there. And so I know for a fact it's a million times easier to get a bunch of belts together and do it all at once. And so I would understand that if that was what I was told. Okay, just say it. Hey, dude, I ate a bag of shit on this one, and I'm just going to be way late. Dude, I respect that. I understand it, and I'll wait as long as it takes to get a good product. Like, that's not a problem. But that's not what we got. Also, what he likes to do is he'll take a picture of one belt that he made of IWGP, like we got an IWGP heavyweight. So he took a picture of one of those belts and he sent it to like 5 different customers and said, "This is your belt. It's almost done." And then everybody's posting it in my boy Tokir just tagged me in a post. Oh my goodness, this is gonna get silly. All right, we're gonna have some fun. Let me crack the knuckles. Let's get things rolling here. This is gonna be insane. Okay, so let's get back to Legacy. Sultan Masood. champions belts, whatever. So he gives me the bullshit runaround on that and puts those pictures out, and everybody's sharing the pictures in the groups. So then I'm like, hey, I'm ordering the same belt from the guy, and he sent me the exact same picture and said it was mine. And so I spoke with one of the girls, and of course he got mad, freaked out on social media, and made her take the thing down. I was actually blocked. I've been unblocked since, but she put me on like a 24 or 48 hour block or something, because all of a sudden after contacting her, it said Facebook user, and then I couldn't see her. But I'm like, hey, go check this out real quick. Is this chick still there? And bam, she didn't get blocked from the group or anything like that. She didn't, she's still fully functioning, doing her thing. She was just probably told, don't listen to this guy, or whatever the case may be. And she stopped interacting with me and blocked me probably for a period of time just to avoid confrontation. And it's like, dude, even if you're making 10 of these belts, just take a picture of all 10 of them laid out. And then say, this is, hey, your belt's in this mess here. I got a bunch of them. I'll get it out when I'm done. Or take a picture of each individual one and send it to each individual person, because the picture that he sent me is not the belt that I got. So, and I called it, like I said, when I called him out on it, and I on the social media through her post. Another girl's post who got the same fucking picture. I showed and posted the same fucking picture, and people started going, started clicking on it, and started, and now all of a sudden it's gone. That thread came down. He took that shit out of the group. It was gone. And so, she got her belt and apparently didn't get the nameplate she was supposed to get, because she's looking for a nameplate now. Who will make a nameplate for an IWGP? And it's like, well, dude, if you don't get it from the guy who made the belt, it might not match up, because all these cats have different measurements, and nobody does it exactly this. None of these cats do them all exactly the same, where it's going to be a universal thing. Not when there isn't one available. They're all these bootlegs. So you're better off getting it from the guy who made the belt, because he's going to be able to make it to fit. But whatever. So that's the only reason I know I was temporarily, because I saw her in another group back asking for. So she obviously got her belt. I got my belt. So it wasn't a matter of whether I was going to get my belt. It's a matter, apparently, in the end, it wasn't about me getting the belt. But it's the fact that you fucking lied about it and bullshit around, and everything was a bunch of horse shit. And every red flag that cats look for was starting to all go off. Bing, 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 bing. So it was, even though we had already gotten a belt from him before. Now, granted, it was their cheap, it was in stock, and it was kind of a subpar level belt. But I mean, for the price, it wasn't, we weren't killing them on it. But the leather, of course, was that chrome tan, beef jerky, horse shit, stomped out in piss leather, with horrible tooling. And then whatever they used to cut the plates, they didn't get it clean to the edge, and you can see all the rough edges on it. And then, it wasn't. It was supposed to be nickel and gold plated, and it wasn't. It's just all gold. So, and they were thin plates, were kind of had a little warp to them, a little bend to them, but nothing that I couldn't just fix myself, and not a big deal. So we didn't kill him on it. But hey, Canada Mike, what's going on? Thanks for hanging. But but even after all that, I was like, man, all these red flags, like, this thing ain't coming. And it did end up coming. I'm going to tell you, I got the video, and I'll post it on the page later because it's on my cell phone. When the box came, I had to take a quick cell phone video of it. Dude, it was barely a box. It was like, you ever had that, like, real flexible corrugated cardboard, like, paper shit? Like, inside packaging. It's almost like, it's like cardboard without the skin on it, without the outside, and it's real. Dude, this box is like made out of that. It was like just wrapped around here, and when it came, this box was as bendable as a belt bag. It would have been better off in a belt bag. This thing was blown to shit. Holes everywhere. I mean, I can't believe it made it here. From fucking Pakistan to Detroit. I can't believe it. It was just beat the fuck. I thought for sure. That's the only reason I didn't wait to open it up for the show, was because it was fucked up. I thought for sure that, at first I wasn't even sure if there was a belt in there. And then when I, kind of start realizing there was a belt in there, I'm like, man, something's going to be broke or missing or whatever. And it wasn't. So thank God everything was there. But unless he threw in extra stones or something like that, and and they fell out the hole, it looks like everything is intact. But we're going to break down this belt here in just a second before I don't want to cut you guys loose for wrestling yet, and then we'll get into the Tokir Nasser thing, which we're going to do next week. But let's get over to the belt cam, and we'll check this thing out. Now, what I am going to say about this thing is I want to put all the positive on it before I take a shit on this belt. And this is kind of the reason why I'm going to do this. I don't think this is a horrible belt, but for all the shit you go through to get your belt, I would never, there's no way I'd ever recommend these cats. No matter how glowing of a review I kind of get, I give this belt. But I want to be honest about the belt, so I'm going to be honest about the belt. And the first thing I'm going to do is tell you all the things, since I've had it for a couple weeks now, all the things I do like that I look for when I'm trying to get this particular belt. Now, this is the V4. This is the version 4. But one of the things I look for, of course, is everything domed that's supposed to be domed? Is everything layered and stacked that's supposed to be layered and stacked? And then is it, the proper size, roughly? Which is hard to tell in pictures, but at least, if you have those other things done, it's probably going to be close to the right size. Because they're not going to make it huge, too big, and it's hard to do all those things and make it smaller. So in this one, the domes, the little globes on the side plates are pretty good. They are domed slightly like they're supposed to be. A little bit more dome would have been nice, a little bit more oval to them, but not killing the details on that. I'm just trying to, for the replica, which you couldn't get if you wanted to. Let's just put it that way right now. The lion head on the main plate in the center, that is stacked and domed out properly. Also, that all the nameplates that are on the side plates are all individual and are actually attached to the plate individually to the side plates and individually etched. That is a huge key to this. Also, the stone holders are relief. They're stacked. They're taller. The banners are relief. They're stacked. They're taller. It is triple stacked. So it hit all of those check marks. It's got the tip on it. It's got all of those things that I just mentioned. And those are all reasons why I spent the money with this, because that's what they advertised. That's what they showed what it was. And that's what we got here. Now, I forgot to grab. Let me see if I got my. Let me go. I'm going to go over here and let me turn on this other mic. And then I'll go over here and we'll take a look at this thing. I'll get the camera on it. I wonder if I forgot to grab my. Oh, no, my micrometer's right there. Let me grab that too. Okay, so on the other belt, we got a Gift of the Gods championship. Let me put these headphones on, see if you guys can even hear me. On the other belt we got from him was the Gift of the Gods championship from Lucha Underground, and they were supposed to be 2mm brass, and it was brass, but it was the 1.5mm. So of course, once again, not delivering on what he said on the last belt. It was, or advertised as, I feel like these are 3 and not 4 millimeter plates, but I could be wrong. I could totally be wrong. It's hard to kind of tell. I'm going to put this micrometer on here real quick, and let's see what we get here. Oops. Let's see. It is. Oh shoot! Hold it straight. It is 3.35 millimeters, so it's basically a little over 3 millimeters. So I was close. It is definitely not 4 millimeter. It is probably a 3 millimeter. That 3.35 might be because I'm on a goofy little angle there, and it gives a little bit more credit. So they're supposed to be 4 millimeter zinc. I do believe them to be zinc. They look zinc from the back side. You can peel the leather back. They do look zinc. But they're 3 millimeter, not 4 millimeter. But it is stacked. It is a triple stack. Let's get this camera down here, and we'll take a look here. I gotta. Let's start. We'll just get in close, and we'll kind of look at this sucker. Like, in this respect, it's not bad. Like, when I do this, it doesn't look horrible. I take pictures, it doesn't look horrible in pictures. It's not a horrible belt by any stretch of the imagination, but it is not kind of what I thought it would be. So a couple things I'm going to get right on. You can see right here, he like flattened out a spot in the eyeballs and never put any gemstones in it. Never bothered. So those are missing right off rip. If you look here, the leaf banner is loose, and so is this one. So these banners are loose and do clunk around. Aggravating. It's 3, not 4 millimeter, like it should be. In here, where the heavyweight is, and champion, that should be nickel plated. It is silver paint, and it's only an okay job at very best. The other thing that really bothers me is that you'll look at these coins here, the bottom might not come out on the camera real well, but the plating on it's horrible. They've been tarnished and burned, so they just didn't do a good job with those. I'm guessing they made a bunch of them and just didn't really care. That one right there isn't bad. Actually, that one over there isn't too bad either. It's kind of subtle, but these two over here are pretty rough. So they burned it during the plating. They didn't clean it properly. They got a mess in there, a little tarnish. It's just not gonna. There's nothing I can do but strip it and replate it, which isn't gonna happen since this thing would be fixed on there pretty good. So, same thing. Almost every one of these stone holders that are relief like we want, they're stacked up. Well, this one is way off center, for one, and then every single one of these is got the burning and tarnishing from not being prepared or plating properly. So that's everywhere. We got a couple corners here where on the side plates, edges, I'm trying to find them, it's hard to see in this light, where it's just the plating just it's not good. So plating issues for sure. Also here, if you look at the top, while we got the head there, I should have looked earlier. I should have showed you this earlier, but you'll notice this here and this here. Now this one looks like it was buzzed down too far, and this one not far enough. and it almost looks like someone just took this one off and left that one and forgot about this one or whatever. And yeah, it's a little bit goofy. It's a little bit goofy. So so yeah, that kind of bugs me a little bit. The leather on this thing, it's actually soft and doesn't smell like goat piss. And it's so soft and floppy because this stuff is still heavy, that it won't hold it up. So displaying it's been a challenge, but I've got a system kind of figured out to get it to sit up. So okay, moving forward. The other thing with this, the etching in this stacker, especially around the IWGP here in the world, it's super wavy. So in the chemical process, the etching process, it's like a lake, man. It's like super wavy. And then all the writing here where it says, you know, the International, the Grand Prix bullshit, blah, 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 you can't even read that shit because the etching, it was just not, it's just unreadable. So because the etching wasn't, and it's the same thing, all this in here, it's all, I know maybe it's supposed to be water, but it's not supposed to look like water. So there's that. So yeah, overall, when you talk about this particular belt and how prestigious, I always kind of think of it as, and how great of a design it is, how awesome it really. This is one of my favorite design of all wrestling belts at the moment. I was kind of disappointed with some of those kinds of things. Some other stuff on here that I didn't like, but not going to be like bent out of shape about, would be the grommets. A lot of them are off center, and they seem to be small. So I would have to say they're undersized. And then what it is it's just punches of 4mm brass. That's how I know that these are 3mm, and that's because those brasses, it's 4, and so they were never plated. It's just brass with a hole drilled in it, and then paint dropped in there, and the paint's chipping, you know, already and coming off, right there. And then so they're just not great. They were never ever plated, they're brass. They're not zinc. Same thing with the nameplate on the center plate and all the nameplates down the side. Though they are attached with these screws all the way through, through's like screwed in. I'm assuming if I undo them, that'll be it. You'll never get them to go back in and hold. And none of these are all brass, and none of them are plated. So these are off. You can see there's like a gap there, which I like that kind of stuff, to be honest with you, because when you're handcrafting something individually, it adds character. That's why I don't mind some of the little flaws in it, to be honest with you. I wouldn't, if the etching was a little bit better, and so I wouldn't be mad about some of these other little plating issues and things like that. And the little spots where the color, it's just burned. Same thing. I want to say it's that banner right there. It's burned. The gold is burned. It's darker there, and it doesn't look clean and fluid. A little bit of a burns here as well. Same thing. I'm cool with like, because it's subtle, and in a low light situation like we are now, you don't really notice it. But when you got the bright light on it and you're really getting on it, it is noticeable. But I don't mind that stuff. Like I said, it adds character to me when you make it. But it's just everything else, and especially just the way he does business. Here you'll see brand new. Came here with like most of the names rubbed, a bunch of names rubbed off on here where you can't see, but that's tough to get that. So I ain't even mad at you. Like I said, that kind of stuff I wouldn't freak out about, other than it's all the other, it's the other stuff that kind of sucks. But overall, it's not a horrible belt. Like I said, the leather is super floppy. The tip, as I'm getting caught up here in my own cord. The tip here is, once again, it's got burns, tarnish, and horrible etching on that coin. And you can see even the nickel plating on the tip itself is just not that good. It is a full tip, though. Snaps, horrible. Like you found them on the ground. Just terrible, like brass and tarnished and dirty and scratched and just fucked up. But whatever, little shit like that I don't care about. Like I said, super floppy. It's got the generic stamp in it. Looks like it was done with a machine. That was definitely not hand tooled. It was done with some kind of, maybe it's a stamp where you just kind of stamp it in one piece and then cut it back around it. But it's not tooled. It's not hand tooled. So it's very shallow and you can barely see it. But the leather doesn't stink, and it is better than most leathers that I've seen from overseas. But the backing is crap, and it's already wrinkled and peeling off. So I'll have to redo the backing on this one. I might do something. I'll have to re-leather it at some point. But yeah, it's peeling on the edges already. Didn't bother burnishing it or anything like that. It's wrinkled everywhere. And when you bend it over, you can see where it's all coming apart at the seams. So that would be it. And, of course, you can't set it up and display it because the leather is super soft, which is actually a good thing. Like I said, that's probably some of the better leather I've seen in a while from, like, overseas. So it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. But, yeah, so there it is. So, overall, I would say if he advertised this as 3mm stacked plates, and he was honest and upfront in emails and in correspondence, not on the phone, but then I would probably say for the price point, it's not bad. That liquidy, melty kind of look and some of the etching would be the only thing that would kind of bother me a little bit. All the other stuff, it's just, you can make mistakes or be in a rush or whatever. It was easier to, I don't know why you wouldn't nickel plate these letters and why you'd paint them in silver. They must have been bad or didn't get it right or made a mistake on it and decided to paint it instead. But I don't know. I wouldn't feel totally ripped off. The price point is significantly lower than you'll ever pay for a belt this size. I would say the cheapest you would pay for this particular, because this belt's heavy as fuck, triple stacked and the whole 9 yards. If it was a true 4mm, you would, if you got it for 6 to 8, you're doing good. And then if it's a really nice belt, you're going to pay 12 or more. I think that's like you're going to pay couple grand, I think, easy if you were to buy a replica, if you could even get your hands on one from Japan. So for a $400 price point, you really can't beat it in the respect that it has all of those things we talked about checking off. But I wouldn't ever do business with this cat again, ever, under any circumstance. I don't care. Like I said, there's too many sloppy, lazy problems on this belt, and the communication was shit, and he'll lie to you about stuff that he doesn't have to lie about. And then, of course, with that being said, what was advertised as 4mm is not. And it's the same with the others. So you're going to get plates that are a little bit thinner than what he is advertising. It seems to be a thread. The two that I got were both smaller. Like I said, the 2mm brass was 1.5, and then this 4mm supposed to be 4 millimeter was 3.25, which doesn't make sense. So it's 3. I just probably had that thing on a little bit of an angle and made it bigger than it was, because of the bend here, but in the bend in the plate. But yeah, it's tis what it is, and I'm fighting it between the leather. But I'll never undersize it because, you know, it pinches together. So yeah, there we go. That's the breakdown. Like I said, I wouldn't recommend them. I'd stop short of putting them in the scammer department, but it would definitely be in the do not deal with. You're not going to get a quality product. You kind of got to understand the prices are low because you get what you fucking pay for, and you're going to pay for a fucking big fat headache and a subpar version of what they're selling you it is. So, and then all the bullshit drama. So, there you go. Now, all that being said, okay, so they got the prices down with the New Japan. Now, I know when you were getting the authentic replicas, they were super expensive. When you translate it over to American dollars, it was like $2,000. I don't know if that's changed. To get a good one from like Classic Shields or somebody like that puts out a really good one, maybe Mateen, somebody like that, you're gonna pay $900 to $1,200. I think a $650 to $800, like $600 to $800 range is you should be able to get a decent quality. I would have rather spent a couple extra $100 and maybe gotten a little bit better version than this one. But like I said, for the $400 price point, it isn't the worst thing I've ever seen by any stretch of the imagination. But once again, just a lot of all the red flags, all the bullshit, all the stuff that you just don't want to deal with when dealing with a maker comes along with dealing with those guys. So I would not recommend, but I'm not going to kill the belt itself. As far as leather's pretty good. So 4 out of 5 on the leather. Plates probably, plating and painting probably a 3 out of 5. Accuracy probably a 3 out of 5, or 4 out of 5. Probably a 3 out of 5. But then it's got flaws and stuff. So etching probably a 3 or maybe even a 2 in some places. 2.5 we'll call it. So yeah, that's my take on it. I don't know if you know cats that have dealt with them and have gotten belts. Other than that, I seem to be getting a consistent. It's very consistent in the quality as far as even because these are zinc and the others were brass, and the etching's a little bit deeper here but not as clean as on the brass, and that is pretty common with what materials you're using. So for me, I can tell that the skill level is okay, not great, and of course rushing, and who knows how many people have got their hands on these belts and who actually made it, all of those kinds of things. So buyer beware. But from a business end, I wouldn't even fuck with them. Thumbs down all the way around. Communication is 0. Timelines is 0. Honesty is 0. All that down the shitter for me. Too many AKAs as well. Yo, what's up, SoCal Mike? Thanks for hanging out. We got Juan in the house, and Joe, and Canada Mike, and it's pretty heavy, Mike. That thing it's definitely heavier than that AEW we got in here. Not a whole lot, but it is definitely heavier, you can tell. So would we say that one was like almost 20 pounds? So this thing's got to be there. 23 pounds, something like that. So it's pretty heavy. I got to get it on. I need to get a real scale here. That would be nice. That would be a good, Mikey. You've kind of inspired a great point that we should probably be able to get an accurate weight of the belt as well as how thick the plates are from the micrometer. So, but so yeah, there we go. Another one. Like I said, I wouldn't mess with them, but there's a lot of cats out there that we shouldn't be messing with. So, but like I said, not the worst thing I've ever seen. Like I said, it displays pretty well once you can get it to stand because it won't stand on that leather. That's the other thing too. It's not a 9-ounce leather. It's a 7-ounce leather, and it is softer, so it just can't hold those fucking heavy-ass plates. The thing just crumbles like a house of cards. So that's the only drawback to it. As far as, you get super nice soft leather for once from overseas, as far as soft anyway. And it can't hold the damn plates. No, that's cool, man. I appreciate you coming at all, SoCal. Mike, even if you're late, like I said, anybody can catch it on the flip if they want. It's always there. We'll get back to our normal Sundays next week as things get back in line. If you guys are just tuning in, like SoCal Mike coming in a little bit late, I will have a big announcement coming Friday night, Saturday, in regards to all the shows, all the belts, all the business stuff, everything that's been going on in my world, that's held everything up, the whole nine, the whole shebang. Everything will be all done on the J-Dub Belts and the Studio 57 radio page this weekend. So, and I'll have some announcements too on the business tip that hopefully will make people happy, and we'll get things back in order as we start to get back to full strength and full steam ahead. And this is guys, this is the IJ, and you'll go back and you'll see this is from Champions Belts. Remember, Legacy, aka Muhammad Hassan, aka Sultan Masood, aka Royal Belt, aka whatever the fuck they are. There's so many different names out there. This was the same cats that we got the Gift of the Gods belt from, that they had in stock and sent out right away. This was the nightmare with the emails and the bullshit and all the. Yeah, you'll go back and watch the show. You'll see. We laid it out in the recap early, but it was the IWGP version 4 that we went over from them. And like I said, not the worst thing ever for the price point, but definitely would never do business with them again. But speaking of not doing business again, there's so many scammers out there. I think I scammed a scammer, but I didn't really mean to, and I didn't really scam a scammer. I just wanted to see what's up, but I kind of did. But he sent a belt, believe it or not. So I'm gonna lay that out for you here and set that up, because we're gonna do that next week. But guys, back to full steam ahead and everything rolling. So catch me Wednesday with Johnny the Moose. We're going to be doing DSR2 here on Studio 57 Radio, talking regular sports, plenty to get into with the NFL, and of course LeBron, and going to faces one of his old teams in the finals. So NBA, NHL, everything, so much sports going on. So 2 hours of a debacle over there with Johnny the Moose and me sitting second chair acting like a fool. So Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, that is on point. We'll be back to our regular day and time, Sundays at 7 here for the BCU as we get things back to normal. But Tokir Nasser, I think I'm saying that right. You've seen him on the scam list. You've seen him in the groups. He's been booted from a lot of groups now, so many that he's got his own group, and not a lot of people in there, but I am in there. And we were dealing with him, and he was trying to sell belts. And so the yeah, Mike, and I'll like I told SoCal Mike, thank you for everything, the support and all that. I appreciate you. I did address that at the top of the show a little bit, of course, and I will make an announcement on that this weekend more. So I'll address everything. So, but thank you. You've been great. I appreciate you, sir. Without a doubt, man, big time, more than you know. So anyway, I forgot I had that other mic hot. He got in touch with me, Toqueer Nasir. Okay, ToQueernasir. He just hit me up while we're doing the show. I don't know what he wants. Oh no, he tagged me. That's what he did. He tagged me in something, another post. But anyway, he wants to sell belts, whatever, He's got belts. Now, I've seen him on the scam list for not delivering what he's supposed to. Stopping shipments, I think, was another thing I saw, maybe, potentially. I can't remember. Don't quote me on that. But definitely seen him. Definitely know he's been booted from groups. And I definitely have him on our list in the BCU group. But on our scam list, just don't, all the red flags, the whole 9 yards. No, he's used stolen pictures, which we've talked about before, and all that stuff. So he's reached out and wants to sell belts. He's got all these belts in stocks. He starts sending me all these pictures. Some of the pictures I recognize are not his for sure. Some others I don't know, could be whatever. So I've got the screenshots, and we'll start getting into that next week. But basically the skinny of it was he had too many belts. He had to get rid of them. He'd give me a great deal. And, wants me to use Western Union. Well, not doing Western Union. I need something to protect me, blah, 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 whatever. But I played along. I chatted with him. Basically, I told him, hey, dude, I got a guy, makes my belts. I don't need anything. If you want to send me a sample, I'll take a sample. I'll take it. He's like, well, I can't send you a free. I can't send. I'm like, well, I'll pay for the shipping, and you send me a belt. I go and you send, and then if it's good and it's nice, I'll use you. If it's if it's everything you say it is, I'll use you. I don't even know what belt I want. He's like, well, these are the ones I have in stock. Well, if you have it in stock and you can ship it right away, then that's what I want. So what do you have in stock? He sends me the pictures. I circle one, send it back, send me this one. I got the 10 pounds of gold, the Real World Heavyweight Championship, the Dome Globe NWA Heavyweight Championship. That's the one I got from him. He's going to send me a sample. I understand it's just going to be 2mm brass, so it's not going to be like the highest quality, but I'm going to get an idea of accuracy and if he does anything good. I get it. Don't send me your best belt, but send me your best, of that type. Like, don't send me some bullshit. So he sent me the belt, but he didn't. Like, he sent me a tracking number, and the shit was never sent. It wasn't really shipped. He says, no, I was there. I shipped it. He sent me video of him supposedly in a DHL, but and dropped off the package, and it's right there on the thing at the DHL. But the DHL never had it. They just had the call number. Like, he tried all these scams. Like, he's just trying to get me to send the money. And he's not going to send the belt, even though I had talked him to only paying into shipping. I was belt. I'd pay him for shipping, which he tried to jack me on the price and try to tell me that it costs. I'm like, dude, I know how much it costs. So he played all those games, and I never thought it was ever going to send. I didn't think it was for real. I thought, I'm scamming the scammer, and we'll talk about the scammer, and we'll screenshot all the stuff, but there'd be no belt to talk about. It would never happen. I wasn't going to send him any money. God damn it, the belt showed up. The belt effing showed up, guys. He had to go back, and he didn't send it when he said he'd send it, and it took another week or two. He went ghost, like he blocked me and was gone, and I thought he was gone forever, and I was getting ready to do the show, and all of a sudden he's back. I'm unblocked. He's back in my text. Here's the belt. Here's the tracking. It's the same one from before. I'm like, there's no way. This thing weighs a half a kilogram. There's no way that's the belt. That's like the box. And whatever, and he says, no, I sent it, whatever, and I watched it, and it tracked, and it shipped, and I never sent him a dime, and it landed, and when it landed, and I shook the box, and there was a fucking belt in it, then I paid him on PayPal for it. I even threw an extra $10 in because it was actually a fucking belt. Now, the real question is, do we use the guy? We're going to put the screenshots out there, we're going to put all this stuff out there, we're going to show it, and the belt, and I'm going to tell you what, it was a wild adventure, just like this one had been. So, yeah, I'm still working behind the scenes, try to do some stuff and keep this podcast, have this content and contribute to the hobby in a way. I've got sponsors that guys, sorry, that are just bent out of fucking shape, and we're going to get that all squared away next week as well, and that's going to be part of my statement this weekend. But I thank you to all the sponsors, the new sponsors that are, we bumped you a month. I appreciate you guys for being cool about that, getting some time. So next week you'll hear all about that. But it's been a wild ride back here, but I'm still working to get things done and to help this hobby. So hopefully I'm doing that. Hopefully. So guys, thanks again, man. Get back to your Monday Night Raw. It's the Raw after the pay-per-view. We'll talk wrestling another day. We got some more things. We'll get back to normal, or what our weird-ass version of normal is, here soon. I'm working on it. I thank you for your patience, your understanding, your support, the love, all that shit I've gotten from all you guys. You're fucking amazing. I couldn't ask for anything better. So be back to our normal time, 7 a.m. Eastern. Thanks for hanging with me. Peace. Be good to each other. Love you guys.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and beat. Studio 57 Radio.